Welcome back to Recap Central. Today I'm going to explain a science fiction film called Iron Sky. Spoilers ahead. Subscribe for more videos like that. The Liberty lands on the moon. Sanders inspects the surface. He detects huge amounts of helium-3. He goes to check the source and loses communication. He then finds a colossal helium mine. He turns to call his teammate, but a Nazi soldier shoots him. James sees it and starts running, but the Nazis explode his spaceship. Nazi soldiers surround James. We see a huge base in the shape of a swastika. Renata is teaching some children. She is an Earth specialist. She tells the children they must learn English to help humankind when they return to Earth. Adler brings the American to the Fuhrer. Back on Earth, the president is furious that her mission failed. She deliberately sent a black man to the moon to boost her ratings. Now she needs a plan to bring her ratings back. Alder invites Renata to see the American. James manages to escape and soldiers pursue him. He ends up falling on top of Adler, knocking him out. Trying to escape, James opens the airlock, causing Renata to almost fly out into the moon atmosphere. Adler catches up to James and tries to shoot him. But James says he knows important people on Earth and can be of great use to them. After hearing that, Adler takes him to Dr. Richter's laboratory. The Nazis inspect James' thing and are curious about his phone. James tells them it's a computer. The scientist is shocked and laughs. He points to a big machine and tells him that is a computer. Adler gives the doctor 24 hours to find out why the Americans came to the moon. At the United Nations headquarters, the Americans give a briefing on what happened on the lunar mission. The president's campaign manager is struggling, coming up with a great idea to help the re-election. Adler meets Renata and proposes a legal union. She is 97% pure-blooded and he wants a perfect offering for the Aryan race. He also reveals his ambition to lead the Nazi Empire. We see a huge Nazi battleship that has been in development for 40 years and is the Führer's dream. Dr. Richter finds out the Americans' phone has thousands of times more power than their computers. He connects the phone to the ship and manages to start it, but the phone runs out of battery. Adler is still impressed with the device and asks for permission to go to Earth to find more phones. James is tied and blasted with Nazi propaganda. Renata sneaks in to meet him. His dark skin amazes her as she has never seen a black man. The doctor has been injecting him with an albinizing compound to make him look more Aryan. As she leaves, Renata tells him to pretend to be a Nazi or her dad, Dr. Richter, will execute him. Before departing to Earth, the doctor shows the Führer and Aryanized James. Alder and James travel to Earth in a flying saucer. When they land in New York, they discover Renata secretly came along with them. The trio steal a van and kidnap the president's campaign manager, Vivian. They abandon James. Vivian takes them to meet the president. She intends to use them for the campaign. They use Nazi-style propaganda. Renata comes across James one day. He is angry they Aryanized him but ends up going with her to see a movie. She learns the Nazis were monsters. Vivian and Adler keep working on the campaign. At Vivian's office, the Führer hears Adler talking about his plan to kill him. The Führer secretly traveled to Earth and takes them hostage. Renata confronts Adler and denounces Nazism. The Führer decides to kill all of them, but Vivian grabs a gun and massacres him and his men. Adler tries to kill Renata and James, but they manage to escape. Adler announces himself as the new Führer. He flies back with Earth technology. Adler launches a massive attack on Earth using Zeppelins that tow asteroids as missiles. The Nazis destroy the city of New York. Seeing that, Renata decides to return to the Reich and convinces James to come with her. The president is delighted with the attack as she believes it will help her campaign. The USA Air Force fight the Nazis and damage the Nazi force. The Nazis unleash a massive asteroid onto Earth. The United Nations meet to discuss who is behind the attacks. The North Koreans take credit for the attack, but everyone laughs at them. The American president informs them the Nazis are behind the attack. She unveils the USS George Bush. It's a powerful ship with nuclear weapons. She appoints Vivian as commander of the ship. The ship attacks the Nazi Zeppelins and manages to damage them, but gets quickly overrun. Reinforcements come from all Earth countries. Adler orders his men to fight till the last man standing. He returns to the moon and plans to use Vivian's tablet to activate the Nazis' giant moon spaceship. Aware of Adler's plans, Renata goes to the ship. The Earth Space Army head to the moon. Meanwhile, in the Nazi ship, James is trying to disable the engine while Renata tries to find Adler. The International Space Force nukes the Nazi moon base, killing all the men, women and children. James knocks out Dr. Richter. Adler starts the engines and the ship rises in the air. Vivian bombards the Nazi ship. Adler orders his men to fire at the ships even if they hit Earth. James tries to disconnect the tablet but gets taken down by Dr. Richter when he wakes up. James fights Richter and manages to disconnect the tablet. And Renata kills Adler before he can fire the missiles. Renata and James escape the ship just before it explodes. Vivian discovers a large concentration of helium-3 on the moon that can supply energy for a millennium. Renata reunites with James that returned his pigmentation to its original color. Then they kiss.